As mentioned, Elastica, having played at the Camden Falcon, the day afterwards, on June the 20th, we went in to record a new set of demos for EMI Publishing, which was just as they were becoming a proper band, because there was a time when they were just stuck in a rehearsal room, as Justin Welch, their drummer, remembers.
We used to rehearse at a place called the Premises on Hackney Road. It was a tiny little place, and we rehearsed for months and months and months before we played our first gig. And I think we could have just stayed in that rehearsal room forever. It was no one really had the desire to go and play a gig, and it was actually the realisation that maybe we have 30 minutes of music, maybe we should do a gig. So we'd done a few gigs, and it was time to get the prestigious London show, and all of us had been to a zillion gigs at the Falcon. You know, it was one of those places where you just hung out. It was Camden. It was on our doorstep almost. I mean, Donna had rented a flat with Jane Oliver, which became the sort of Elastica HQ, and that was on Royal College Street. That was literally opposite. Didn't really have any equipment. We got this gig. We used to beg, borrow and steal, as all bands do when they first started out. And Suede had just got a deal, so they had all new equipment, and we borrowed Matt's bass amp, which was this great big amping thing, which we wheeled up the street to the gig.
Hi, my name's Mike Smith. I'm the president of music at Virgin EMI Records. So back in June 1993, I was an A&R manager at EMI Music Publishing. And the gig on the 19th was really important because so many people were coming down. It was the first big gig, even though it's only the Falcon, which holds 150 people. But it was the first proper gig they'd done in London, and we've been doing a load of gigs outside of London to get really good without any scenesters seeing them. So the show in London was really important because all the fashionable tastemakers would be coming down. So on the one hand, I wanted it to be brilliant, and then on the other hand, I was terrified that other people would come along and sign the band away, and I wouldn't get to work with them.
I can remember it just being red hot. It was just dripping with sweat in there. It was one of those proper early punk gigs, which you can sort of remember it being... I can't really remember any of the sound, how it sounded, but it just felt brilliant. It was electric. The vibe in there was incredible. Everyone seemed to be loving it, even if it sounded rubbish. I've no idea how it sounded. And it was just one of those great nights. It was one of those memorable nights that, like, we played Camden, the home of Britpop, so therefore maybe we'd made it, you know. It could have all ended there and it would have been fine.
I mean, the gig was an enormous success. I think we all went out drinking afterwards, and everybody would have gone in with a spectacular hangover into our recording studios behind the Virgin Megastore on Oxford Street to start work the following day. Everyone was able to function on spectacular hangovers in those days. I think we were all much younger than we are now, and there was so much energy. I think that's what is so exciting about that time. Everyone was really buoyed up and just felt we were on the cusp of something brilliant. It was obvious that something amazing was just around the corner, and that was driving us all forward. Stutter, which had been called the new song for such a long time, which was one of the most recent songs that they'd written, was part of that session. And it was obvious that had sort of like taken their songwriting quite a bit further forward. You know, previously they'd recorded Line Up, they'd recorded Vaseline, but Stutter felt like a really strong commercial single, and we just thought, you know what, this is probably one of the best ways to introduce the band to a proper audience, and I think it went on to become the first single.
Mike Smith, who worked with Elastica at EMI Publishing. Thank you, Mike, and to Justin from Elastica, Justin Welch, who we spoke to over the weekend. For more then on this and various bits and pieces, so memorabilia which we've managed to collect together, and a few odd pictures and ticket stubs, go to the Six Music Facebook page, and if you have anything of your own or any memories...